Let's see. Cola, candy, chips, gum. Huh. It's so normal. Yeah, we've already thought about that as well. A window into the dressing room. The glass is frosted, so I can't see inside. And still can't, like, this towel rack is so strange. Still can't interact with it. There's a sign on the dressing room door. Will Powers. It must be neat to be the star and have your own room like this. The door to the dressing room. It's not locked. Okay, don't think we had anything really new here, so... Oh, that's so weird. Look, he's not here. Hold on, I need to slide, because that feels awkward. Talking to him while looking to the side, not seeing Gumshoe. Let's go. So, you're looking for traces of the sleeping pills. How? For a thorough examination, I gotta take the plate back to the precinct. But I have the capabilities to make a cursory examination right here. Our science guy gave me some testing solution. Ah yes, a science guy. Bill! Aw man, I love the idea of Bill Nye being in the Ace Attorney universe. He's such a jokester. He would fit this universe's wackiness perfectly. What a match made in heaven. This reacts to these sleeping pills, see? If there are traces, it'll change color. Like a pH test. Sure, but for sleeping pills. A ZZZ test, if you will. Okay, that's a terrible joke. Never mind. Wow, neat! Well, Detective Gumshoe, what are you waiting for? Now, everything in due time, pal. Well, the testing solution on the plate changed color, all right. Ooh. So the food on this plate had been laced with sleeping pills. Looks like it. Aha, good. Evidence, steak plate. Traces of sleeping pills and a large bone. Well, that went super well. I thought we'd have some weird complications working with Gumshoe, but yes, this is exactly what we needed. How goes your investigation? Oh, to tell the truth, it's a real mess, pal. Some people think we should pursue the case we already have against Powers. And some people think we should switch suspects. What do you think, Detective Gumshoe? Well, pal, I hate to admit it. I'm not sure I buy the case against Mr. Powers anymore. Oh, Gumshoe! I feel kind of bad for Mr. Edgeworth, though. Aw, man, you know, I've been getting that vibe so far, like, whenever we get Gumshoe, like, I felt like he's just a hapless guy, and he really is a good guy, but just the way our careers are set up, our professions, he just ends up kind of being an opponent for us. But he seems like so well-meaning. I really, really like this character. I like the story arc we've been having with Gumshoe throughout this game. I hope he's in the later cases as well. I think he's very, very fun. How is Edgeworth doing, anyway? Mr. Edgeworth is out of control. He was in the waiting room, and he crushed this paper cup with hot coffee in it. Wow. Talk about burns, pal. Oh, that'd be an amazing detail if next time we're in the court, he has his hand bandaged up because of this. Of course, I'll accept him not being bandaged up, simply because that'll fit my headcanon of him being so steaming mad, he just shrugs off burn wounds. It's like, I don't feel anything right now, except my burning hot rage for that Mr. Wright. You know, that'd be amazing too. Wow! The fury of Edgeworth! Yeah, crushing paper cups. Cups? Bottles? Say, whatever happened with that empty bottle? Oh, the bottle of sleeping pills? Well, I got some good news for you about that. They found the victim, Jack Hammer's prints on the bottle. So that means... Yep, it sounds like the one who put Powers to sleep was none other than the victim. So I was right. Ah, look, it's been updated. Found on a table in the employee area, bears Jack Hammer's fingerprints. I guess you could be like, well, it doesn't prove that he used it, just that he was holding it, but that sounds like a bit of a stretch, I suppose. Man, I love it that Gumshoe's now kind of working with us. After our so much antagonism between our sides, like, you know, it's in his interest in the pursuit of justice to also support us, really, so it's good stuff.
I'm guessing I know as much about that as you do, pal, i.e. nothing.
Hey, come on, this is Phoenix's prized attorney's badge. That was a very poor diss. Oh wow, and he doesn't know anything about the case file? I mean, that's kind of funny that that's the thing he says for this very important evidence, but that's fine. Aw man, poor Gumshoe. You haven't been reading this case very well, the case notes, have you?
I don't know what this is. There's some kind of sharp toothpick. It's pretty big. Maybe it's for picking baleen whale krill out. I don't know. Out of their baleen. Oh, it's looking like Will Powers was drugged. I'm gonna go back to the precinct to do some more detailed tests.
You're being very free with your information today, Detective.
Well, don't go telling anyone this, pal. But I was kind of impressed at today's trial, too.
Huh.
Most lawyers would have given up after that director's testimony.
And some of us bungled it incredibly badly. In another dimension and another continuity.
I think if I had been anyone but you up there, Powers would have been done for by now.
Aw, thanks. Thanks, man.
Detective, about that bottle. Oh, that. Talk about embarrassing, pal. I can't believe I missed that on my first sweep for evidence. Don't know how I can apologize to Mr. Edgeworth.
It must be tough being a detective with all that responsibility. Oh man, this was such a feel-good encounter, even though it's a serious crime investigation mom thing. Alright, let's go in the dressing room. I wonder if Mr. Manella's gonna be in here. Oh no, it's Penny this time. Wow, people just get juggled around in this place. That's fine, it adds a sense of... It's a small amount, but some amount of, like, living, breathing feel to this place that people at least shuffle around a little bit.
Oh, hello. What are you doing here? Oh, I was just cleaning up the dressing room. I guess WP won't be using it anymore, so...
What? Why? But WP's innocent!
Yes, and I'm really grateful for all you've done. But... this week is the last episode of The Steel Samurai.
What? No! I see. What a plot twist that was here at the 11th hour. Not that big of a deal, making the finale. I guess it has to be the ending because freaking one of the actors died. Right, well, I guess. If they've never shown the face of the Steel Magistrate, I guess you could just have a guy who kind of sounds like Mr. Hammer do the role.
It's locked. I guess he doesn't open his window much. It is kind of dusty outside. Looks like someone was sleeping here.
Oh, sorry, I haven't cleaned up there yet.
There are some regular suits in among the costumes here. Those must be his own clothes. There's a box for snacks on the table. They must give these to the employees. Huh, it's completely empty. I can feel Maya's eyes burning into the back of my neck. They were just thrown away, Maya. Don't you worry about it. And they're gonna reuse these containers here. Yeah, that's the ticket. No one would have eaten those things you wanted. Okay, you can put the fists down now. Thank you. They always have mirrors like this in dressing rooms. I always check my hairdo when I look in a mirror. Huh. Not quite as spiky as usual, I see. Gonna have to fix that up. There's an array of cosmetics here. This is the wig used in Samurai Boogie Woogie.
Wow, you remembered, Nick!
Thanks to you.
That's cute. That's some nice, like, development in checking out these interactables.
It's Powers' bag.
I put all of WP's personal belongings in there. He'll be able to come pick them up, right?
I'm sure he'll come, yes. Yeah, I got this. Yeah. Alright, well, Penny, how's it going? I was wondering if I could ask you about Mr. Hammer.
Yes?
On the day of the murder, he went to Studio 2.
Huh? I thought he went to Studio 1. He stole the Steel Samurai costume too! What? Why would Mr. Hammer do something like that? Huh. Oh. I guess the rumor must be true then.
What? The rumor come out? Does Mr. Hammer be samurai? The rumor?
Yeah. Ms. Vasquez, that producer, had some kind of hold on Hammer. She had some dirt on him. He'd do anything she said, apparently. Some dirt? What dirt? Dirt. You know, bad stuff. I know what dirt means. About 5 years ago, they were filming a movie starring Mr. Hammer. They were using the new studio, Studio 2. Some sort of accident happened during filming. After that, they never used Studio 2 again. They left the film set the way it was, too.
The film set? Was that trailer part of the film set, then? That's very curious. Okay, so there is something fishy between Mr. Hammer and Ms. Vasquez after all. You think? Oh man. But let's modify my theory. You think he was going out to kill Ms. Vasquez? And like he wanted to frame Mr. Powers? Oh my god, I really hope that's not the case. I like my first theory more. Oh no, we'll see how this goes.
What do you mean the last Steel Samurai? I know it's a shock, but nothing can be done to save it now. Whoever really did kill Mr. Hammer also signed the Steel Samurai's death warrant. No! No! Also, I hear that Global Studios is going to change its programming. They're not going to make kids shows anymore. What? Why? I don't know. It's sad, but that's what Global Studios decided.
Oh geez, not good, not good, not good at all. Let's ask about studio policy. Why aren't they gonna make kids shows anymore?
The studio bigwigs don't want the Steel Samurai around anymore. They want to forget all this ever happened.
I guess that makes sense. This is kind of a PR nightmare that the studios are in at the moment, so yeah.
They want it quiet, you understand? How can they just do that? What about all the kids who love the Steel Samurai? It's okay. I'm sure the kids will be fine. They'll find a new hero to follow. No, that can't be true! If the program just ends, they'll be heartbroken for sure.
Oh man, it's like a freaking... Oh my god, what's the cartoon? There's like a 90s cartoon that was like this really roaring... Pirates of the Caribbean. No, what the hell is it? It was like this really like action-adventure pirate show, and it had like a really like gripping story for its time, and they never finished it. They were like hunting for treasures to stop the... Oh yeah, that was Pirates of the Dark Water. Yeah, look it up, guys. That's a very, very cool 90s... Was it 80s or 90s? But anyway, very cool cartoon. Real cool like sword and sorcery adventure. They never finished it. It really sucks. It's too bad too. I was a fan of it as a kid. I wasn't heartbroken though, because as a kid I didn't realize that it was missing episodes, because you know they didn't like air them like in order or anything. They just aired episodes seemingly at random to me whenever I tune in to watch Cartoon Network. So I was just like, man, they never show the later episodes. Man, I want to see them already. So I was just in constant anticipation. I didn't have any idea. I barely understood what a season was. I like watching Real Adventures of Johnny Quest. I was like, huh, okay. Bunch of new episodes, and wow, it's so different from before. I didn't like understand at all, like, oh yeah, there's a new season with whole new writers and a completely different angle. That like, you know, I didn't get it to that level as a kid. Anyway, kids these days are pretty smart. They're pretty savvy, so maybe they would realize it would totally suck to find out that the show was cancelled like this. Sure.
Nick, say something!
Yeah. I think evidence rather than words is called for here. Here, take a look at this.
Wait, what am I supposed to... Oh, show that kids would be heartbroken? Oh, maybe I show this book. This was kind of cute. Oh man, thank goodness I got in my rambling about old cartoons again. I almost lost the thread there for a second. Thank goodness I was like, oh man, what am I supposed to show? They probably would not have game overed us if I picked the wrong thing, but you know. Whew.
And this is? A fan collected all of these photographs. The kids love the Steel Samurai. The show shouldn't be cancelled just so some adults can save face. I would think you would understand that better than anyone.
Oh, because she collects the cards, I guess?
You're right. Okay. But what can I do?
Well, for starters, you can tell me something. Tell me what it is that Global Studios is so intent on hiding. Tell me about this accident 5 years ago.
Okay.
Let's go. You guys, freaking strap in. Hold on to your butts. We're gonna get some revelatons here.
Could you tell us what happened 5 years ago?
Well, I can tell you what I've heard. Apparently, 5 years ago, someone died, and it was Hammer's fault. Someone died?! It was an accident, of course. Anyway, the producer, Ms. Vasquez, managed to hush it up.
And that's the dirt she had on Mr. Hammer.
I see, that would also explain why he got demoted without any, good explanation. Just like, okay, you're out of the hop, Mr. Hammer, but you're gonna have to pay for the screw-up, so out you go. Interesting.
And that's why Mr. Hammer would do anything Ms. Vasquez asked him to do. Oh. But it was an accident, right? Why didn't they just make it public? Well, you know Mr. Hammer was a big star back then. They were afraid about what would happen to his career if word got out.
So you ruined his career anyway?
I see. You know who knows more about this? Ms. Oldbag. She was here at the studios back then, you know.
Oh my god. Oh my god. You think she's in just as much denial? That would be an amazing contrast if Ms. Oldbag is in just as much denial about her hero, Mr. Hammer, just as Cody was in denial about the Steel Samurai's loss. What a cool contrast between characters that would be. I love it.
Thanks, we'll try asking her.
If she'll talk. Yeah, well, how's that gonna happen? We'll give it a go. But first, why don't you look at my collection of dumb stuff?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure what to make of that.
That's too bad.
So this photo was Mr. Hammer all along?
Oh, it seems that way.
Why would Mr. Hammer do something like that?
It's a great question. We'll try to figure it out. Although this business with Ms. Vasquez certainly is making it seem a little grim, whatever he was doing. Much grimmer than my theory of just I want to be a star again.
Wow! Wow! It must have taken him forever to collect all these. Kids love the Steel Samurai. They do, don't they?
I feel like someone else in this room also loves the Steel Samurai a little bit. Isn't that right, Penny? Don't worry about it, it's cool. I love him too, he's awesome.
What's that?
An empty bottle of sleeping pills, with Mr. Hammer's fingerprints on it.
Huh. Now I'm really confused.
Well, don't worry about it, we'll try and make sense of it. Well, good talking to you, Penny. Let's really quickly see if there's anything new to talk to Gumshoe. Nope. I thought maybe even he would unlock something after these big revelatons. What? You're still slinging around? If you like the place so much, why don't you take over for me?
The old windbag doesn't look so good.
Everybody's doing their darndest to forget Hammer. Who do they think made Global Studios what it is today? Hammer! It's all due to Hammer.
She's starting to froth at the mouth, Nick. Maybe we should keep a safe distance.
I guess we gotta first... I'll just go through some of these new items we've gotten. Alright. Didn't work. Also, her dialogue was changed last time. There was more yammering from her last time, but no way. Let's see what happens if we talk about this. I feel like we might have to go hunting for more items. We haven't gone to the studios yet. But let's at least see what she says, and we get like a prompt to like go collect more items. I wanted to ask you about 5 years ago. Who told? Who did you hear that from? Huh? Nichols! Nichols?
Nichols, Nick. Penny Nichols. That assistant we talked to.
Oh, right. Anyway, we heard about that accident. It was during filming with Jack Hammer. He killed a man, didn't he? Whippersnappers? Dredging up dirt on someone's past like that, and the recently departed, no less. I suppose you think this is fun? No, I'm just doing my job to protect Mr. Powers. And you claim that Hammer stole Powers' costume. You expect me to believe that rubbish? Or do you have some kind of proof? Proof that Hammer stole Powers' costume? I'm sorry, Miss Oldbag, but I do have proof. I can prove that Mr. Hammer stole Mr. Powers' costume. Actually, I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but I feel like this drugged steak should do it. Mr. Powers ate a T-bone steak for lunch, correct? Well, yes, so? This is the plate that he used to eat that steak. There are traces of sleeping pill powder on the plate. I bet Powers put it in there himself. Even a lightweight like him must have trouble sleeping sometimes. Except I have proof that Mr. Hammer put the pills in. God damn, look at this chain of evidence. This bottle contained sleeping pills. Mr. Hammer's fingerprints were found on the bottle. I see. Poor Hammer. You did wrong, Hammer. Rest your soul.
Miss Oldbag?
Okay, you win. I'll talk. I'm tired, see? Tired of holding it all in. Miss Oldbag. You're right. 5 years ago, there was an accident. A fatal accident. What's worse, a paparazzi took a photo of it. That photo, well, it caused quite a stir. And guess who made it all better? Vasquez. She has ties to the Mafia. She silenced that paparazzi. Wow! Now that's some Revelatons as well. Okay, I should probably at this point, if you guys are like, why does he keep pronouncing Revelations so annoyingly? It's a reference to a botched box art for Resident Evil Revelations, where they misspelled the word Revelations on, I think, the spine of the game case. And Super Best Friends would always reference Revelatons whenever big revelations happened, and unfortunately I am a meme regurgitating moron, so I cannot help myself. Sorry. That was the beginning. After that, she became a force to be reckoned with here at the studio.
I see.
But you have to understand, poor old Hammer never meant any harm to anyone.
Miss Oldbag.
Hold on a minute.
Poor Miss Oldbag.
Oh, might have started to put on Miss Oldbag's accent there a little bit. It's not at all the fault of the person doing the voices here. Here, take this. Huh? A photograph? Oh! Wait a second! I see. Isn't that a spike in the fence? Isn't that one bent? Do I remember that right? In Studio 2? Very interesting. This is the picture. Is this the trailer in Studio 2? Hammer was supposed to fight with a bad guy on the top of those stairs there. In a tennis costume? Fighting this femme fatale here on the left, I guess? He pushed the other actor, and the man fell onto the flower box fence. Oh no, I see, the dead guy is the villain. I guess the femme fatale is just I don't know, someone. Oh, is it Miss Vasquez? Is that what she looks like? Looked like younger without the shawl on her head? I don't know. But how did you get this? It was a long time ago. I don't feel much like talking about it. Okay, I'm not gonna actually. I was about to read into this way too much, but let's not. Let's keep this going. I was about to make some wild speculations again. Never mind. Let's not for now. Maybe I'll save it for the end of the episode again. Just because it's funny for me to be like, let me throw out the craziest screwball theories I got. Which in this game seem to end up being less crazy than what the game tosses at us. I understand. A 5-year-old photo shows an accident involving Jack Hammer. No, but I wish I could. Let's see if we can talk to her about this. Oh, look at this scrolling list of items. I want to know who the people in the picture are. Poor old Hammer. He was a big star. The biggest. That accident 5 years ago is what did him in. He wanted to hide it. He didn't want anyone to know. Poor silly old Hammer. If he had just come out and confessed, then Vasquez wouldn't have gotten her claws onto him. Yeah, and if it was an accident, like, you could have moved on, I think. But of course, let's not forget about probably the trauma that caused for Mr. Hammer. I'm assuming it wasn't great.
Detective Gumshoe must have left by now.
He's probably thinking about what to do in tomorrow's trial.
I bet Edgeworth is pretty angry with him.
See, what I wanted to do was show this photo to Gumshoe and to Penny, just to see what they say about it. But okay, Gumshoe's gone. Yeah, the one famous death on a movie set that I know. It's of course Brandon Lee's death during The Crow. I understand that the prop guy who botched the gun, he was destroyed by what happened, and I think the guy who shot the gun as well, because I guess you can blame negligence there from the prop guy, but of course I don't know the full case. I don't know if it was just a freak thing, or if it was just a really unlucky thing. So I really don't want to blame those guys either. And as I understand, they were freaking destroyed. They had so much trauma after what they did to Mr. Lee that it was horrible for these people. I mean, it was horrible for everyone, but for these guys who did this horrible accident, it sucked for them, and I totally get that. And I wonder how. I'm gonna assume that Mr. Hammer also just felt awful about what happened. But the fact that he wanted to cover it up, though, that does seem a little scummy, I have to say. If he must have not been that shocked to be thinking something that kind of sneaky, unless Vasquez stepped in and when he was in a complete trauma state of what do I do? Vasquez maybe stepped in and oiled him up to convince him to cover it up. I don't know. Again, I'm speculating way too much to be good in a game like this, because we probably shouldn't jump to conclusions.
The assistant must have gone off somewhere. That stuff about Mr. Hammer must have come as a shock to her.
Right, so we can't show the photo to anybody. Okay, that's too bad. What's also too bad is that we are at the end of the episode, and I was actually pretty jazzed to carry on and check things out, but I think, yeah, it's better that we call it for today, since we got these important revelations involving the history between Mr. Hammer and Ms. Vasquez. Those will be very important, I'm sure, in figuring out who the villain is and what the heck is going on in this crazy lot. But yes, next time we're gonna check out those studios that we never got to get to today. We were so busy just with the basics here in the dressing room, with Ms. Oldbag, the detention center. That's fine. But next time we will go check out the studios. Hopefully we will find Ms. Vasquez there. Mr. Manella would do as well. Just interview them a little bit about what we've dug up on them. We'll see how it all goes. Catch you all then, guys. Goodbye!